Well, hasn't that been a debate with her now for a while? That she allegedly creates fetish content to some degree?
I've never heard that before, but I will say he's got a point that is a little bit weird.
Well, I mean,
Like,
her content is just it's garbage, to be honest with you. I mean, at one point, I think I've said this before, when the whole story came out about what she did to Jack's films, Lil Huck was watching her for the longest time. For at least for like a
you
couple
let
of
your
months.
kid watch Sniper Wolf?
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
And then after the fact, once I realized who she was and what she was doing, I told her, you are not allowed to watch her, and she hasn't since. So, yeah. But she just happened to
So
find
you didn't
her.
you didn't know who she was?
Not fully, no. Not until the whole Jack's Films thing came out, no. I had really, truthfully, no idea. But yeah, but since then, she obviously has not watched her, and I don't want her watching her because she's gross. She's just gross. She's a gross person for what she did to Jack's Films, and I can't stand her. No, absolutely not. But this is a video that he did about her apparently not showering. It's cringe. If you want to watch it, feel free. I guess we can link it in the chat. To be fair, if anyone wants to watch it, and if they want to melt their brain, sure. But I want to get EG on here. EG, go into waiting. There's a lot of farting and shit in the video. Oh, fucking hell. Let's get EG in here because he's been waiting patiently to talk to Seth and to rebut some of this stuff that we've talked about. So here we go. You both ready? All right, here we go.
A commentary event.
I thought she.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
Hello,
great.
EG. Hello, EG. Welcome back to the KHuck, sir. How are you?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right, I'm gonna try to be nice. First off, because KHuck's a friend of mine, so it's not, I know that she's just doing her thing, but I think this is exactly the issue here, right? That, like, it seems like Seth's getting a lot of her information from like Diorio's commentary and stuff like that, and I think that you guys should probably know that they, like, Nerd City and Diorio do not have a good history together. They do not get along.
I just want to, like, first of all, I do appreciate you coming on here and being nice to me. I appreciate that. But second of all, I don't like Nicholas Diorio, so that's not where I'm getting my information.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this: where are you getting your information from? Please do not say D'Angelo Wallace.
No, God, no, fuck, no.
Okay. You earned a little more respect. You earned a little more respect.
That video was the fucking. His video was horrible. He's just as pretentious as Nerd City is.
He's actually not, though. Like, he's a friend of mine. He's actually like the sweetest guy.
Okay, I'm gonna respect that you have a personal relationship with this guy. You probably know him better than I do, and I'm sure that in real life, he's probably an okay guy. But I think the way he conducts himself online.
Okay, give me an example. Give me an example of something that he's done that you, because right now, like, so far, from what I've heard, it's like you've taken a lot of the things out of context, that, like, the cat gift stuff, like that. So okay, let me give you an analogy, KHuck. Okay, say me and you decided we're gonna start a podcast together. Okay, and we start a Discord for that podcast. You bring over your community, who's super, super nice people, but let's just act like my community.
I don't know about that.
Let's act like my community's not, like, super nice people, okay?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my community just starts trolling the ever living shit out of your community. Would you try to do something to try to, like, help your community from being, like, pretty much just, like, tortured by my community, or would you just kind of let them deal with it?
Depending on the level of trolling, I would probably let some of it slide, but it would honestly just depend on what level of trolling we're talking about here.
Let's say that my community.
something
say
we
that-
have to take into account of this is that like Pyro has a huge fucking community.
Yeah, so did Nerd City.
Okay.
But you know, you try to bring in these. Say that my community started doing pictures of your avatar with like Nazi symbols on it.
Okay, that would be a bit much.
Okay,
That
so
would
that
be a-
was taking
yeah.
place. That was happening to Nerd City.
Mhm.
Also, you know, he usually people got a bunch of warnings before they would get banned, and then what would happen was people were just straight up spamming. I'm in that Discord. They would just spam the Discord with picture of the same picture again and again and again. So then they would
Okay.
come out a rule that was like, all right, you guys can't spam the whole Discord with a bunch of pictures or the same picture. So they would take the wording, right, and then they would switch it up just a little bit. So instead of spamming the same picture, they would spam like several different pictures.
But how is that not a funny bit? Like that's a funny bit.
Because it's
These people are paying to cultivate that kind of server. If that's what they want, they should have it.
Okay, so again, this goes back to KHuck. Like, say the analogy is that KHuck and me are having a podcast and we're mishing a community together, right? And your people from your community start coming to you like, listen, I don't know if I can stay in this Discord. It's a little too crazy for me. I'm probably gonna leave. Would you be like, would you not want to try to make it more of accommodating but here's the other thing too, is like not everybody would come to an agreement like as mods, and then you know people would just stop listening. So that's where like that stuff kind of happens. It was just people just basically ignoring the rules completely. So if you got, I'm
Okay.
sure you have rules for your Discord, right, KHuck?
Mhm.
How many times would you let someone break your rules before you were like, all right, sorry, you're just clearly not listening, you have to go?
I've truthfully with mine, I've only had to do it like twice that I can remember, to be honest with you, and it's been So I am probably not the expert in asking of that particular question because truthfully, it doesn't really happen. Because with my particular Discord now, I have heard of it happening in other people's Discords, and I've heard of the different stories that have accumulated from that, but with mine in particular, I really haven't had to do that. So
Okay. Well, that's good,
okay,
right?
That's fair enough. But let's like go back to like posting Nazi pictures of fucking Nerd City or whatever, right? How is that any different from Pyro's community, like going at him, calling him fat, doing the same thing to him? Like,
Because that's not
editing him being
Nerd
a
City's
pedophile.
community though. That's not his community. That's Pyro's community.
Like when he actively enters into a partnership, like making a podcast with these people, he's like saying, "Yeah, we're gonna merge our community here."
No, it's just everybody, everybody chips in and tries to get your people in. But if your people are like, dude, I can't do it. But also, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I did a video covering a lot of this stuff. But Pyro even went on to say that his community is a lot, and that
It definitely is. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
so then to suggest that it's him crashing out because he's concerned for his community in a toxic situation, and he's explaining frustrations to the other people that he's with, but they're just like, yeah, I totally understand, do what you got to do, and then he does it, and then everybody just ignores him anyway.
You don't think it was very unhinged to go into Oliver's server and be like, fuck you faggots, like after looking up his name, seeing what people are like talking about him, and like posting like rants about how like his podcast hosts suck? You don't think that's public crashing out and a little bit insane?
Okay, so again, this is just these people are like talk like that normally. So he was like, okay, we can do that, and it's out of character for him. He's not typically that way. But was his best moment? No. But like to suggest, I mean, you have to remember this is like, I don't even know how long of frustration of just completely being ignored, being undermined by the other people that he's making rules with, So, and then he went on there and explained himself on the podcast live, which I think takes balls, right? He could have just disappeared, but he got on there, explained what was going on with him, why he was having issues with it. Like, I don't know what more like you would expect for him to do. I mainly have an issue with people acting like he's like some like even Chud Logic went through all this and was like, he didn't do anything wrong, right? So, and Chud's fair. Would you agree?
I don't know about that. I'm not a big Chud fan, but
Oh my god.
Well, I would.
Who are you?
whatever. Who
You don't like
do I
Chud? I don't know. I don't know who.
No, this. I don't
He's like
think
the
that she
fairest guy there is.
There are
He-
plenty
he
of
is-
people out there that don't like the British just for the sake of them.
Yeah,
being
that's
British.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
One time I asked him what his favorite like potato chip was, and he answered wrong, so that's why I don't like him.
Oh,
What did he
Seth,
answer?
goddammit.
I don't know, salt and vinegar or some gay shit.
Oh,
I don't-
you're right. That's a terrible answer.
Ew.
Terrible
Ew.
answer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
But
no, I just like I
That's
think
Chud. That's unacceptable.
this is the
Yeah,
whole reason why
Chud.
I wanted to come on like earlier and and go through this with you so that I could clarify the information that like Seth was getting wrong as this was going on.
you
Because
know
now
what
I'm
we
trying
can
to like
do?
I'm trying to like recall it in my head of all the stuff that you guys have gone through. Also, his little freak out on the Tommy C stuff where basically what happened there was so when Tommy is running his stream, right? So he sets up his microphone to do what's called like a override. So when he speaks, everybody else's mics go quiet so that he, in case people are arguing on his channel, he can get people to be quiet down, So what happened was during that part, you can hear Tommy C start talking and then he stops and then all of a sudden Nerd's words come in halfway through and it sounds like he's upset because it cut off the first half of his sentence where he was laying out an example
Well,
of
he
something.
clearly is upset, like when he's shouting at verse. Like, I mean, I don't think there's any way to argue that he was upset.
I'm sorry. What was he up in that stream? He wasn't upset.
He was like, his voice was cracking a little bit even when he was
Come
talking.
on, really? My voice
No,
cracks
and-
all the
and-
time. It doesn't mean I'm
fair,
upset.
fair, fine, fair, okay, but like he had like a moment of silence and then he went like, "Oh fuck you, I'm not doing this" to verse. Like
No, because
he
he's
was
like I
clearly
just said.
agitated.
No, I just explained to you what happened there. So when Tommy talks, it overrides and quiets everybody else's mics. So he started a sentence, and then Tommy started talking, which muted the first half of his sentence. So when Tommy stops, you can go back and play it. You'll hear it. When Tommy stops talking, it brings Nerd's mic back up. So then all you got was the last half of that sentence where he's giving you an explanation of like what he was like, the example, like the quote of what it said, and it sounded wrong. And then from there, Tommy got a little annoyed because he did think that he was upset. So that's why that kind of whole thing happened. So yeah, I'm not going to go into the personal shit because I don't want to like I'm not going to talk about that stuff. I just want you to be clear like that. Just understand. You'll see soon enough, KHuck, when I release some stuff. But this whole thing has been completely blown out of proportion. Right, all the people who were doing those Reddit posts were the people who got banned from that Discord community, and then there was all this stuff saying that he's a transphobe and that he's he hates the LGBTQ. But if you go back and look at his video called the YouTube's Biggest Lies, he literally goes through a whole section of that video where he's talking about how it's unfair that gay and gay people who were on YouTube at the time were being demonetized, and that YouTube needs to do something about that because it's completely terrible. But yet, because he had one.
They're clowning on him though. That's the thing. He's like taking it too seriously, and they're clowning on him. These people don't actually think he's transphobic.
Okay,
They were mad at him because he interrupted a really good conversation between Oliver and Pyrocynical, like during the TVH podcast when they were talking about Ava Chris Tyson.
Yeah, I mean that's just boys being boys. But again, like I have an exception with you. You basically saying he's crashing out.
He was crashing out. He was like posting like a bunch of shit on Reddit going into
No,
like.
he was not.
other
Did you know
servers.
who he was when he posted that? Did you read the name of the character that was posting that?
Dr. Download?
Oh, yes. So
That's what his Twitter. That's what his Reddit's always been.
No, it's not. He has a Nerd
It's
City
always
Reddit
been
too.
Cajun.
Dr. Downvote
okay.
is Dr. Downvote from the videos, right? So if your name is Dr. Downvote, what are you gonna do when you go to Reddit? You're gonna get downvoted, right?
Okay, whatever, fair enough. Okay, what about going into the other Discord like servers and like crashing out there on his account?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably annoyed, okay, but that's fine. Everybody gets mad sometimes, but that's like,
That
again,
is a public thing though. That's like publicly crashing out.
yeah, I think the guy just had, at that time he just kind of had enough, and if KHuck was like, again, like I said, I'm just using it as an example, KHuck. If we
Thanks.
meshed our communities together, and my community was just constantly just attacking yours, eventually you would probably want to come in and be like, what are you guys doing? Why would you
Well-
treat my community like that?
Well, yeah, but the thing
The
is,
other
though,
person on the podcast goes through that and doesn't say anything. But the second that it's Nerd City, he has to make a big deal about it.
Yeah, because he was sticking up for his people. I'd do the same thing if people were messing with
Well,
my.
here's the
people.
thing, though, right? Is that again, would I make it public about any of this? Probably not. I would.
It was in a
probably
private-
handle it. Probably
It was
handle
in a
it behind the
Discord,
scenes.
though. It was in a
Right.
Discord.
Right, but my thing.
So it wasn't
is,
like,
though,
he made a video crashing out. I can understand
Well-
that, but the Reddit stuff was just him trolling people. Just him
Well-
trolling and having fun with people who clearly just were in there to hate on him anyway. Have you been to, YouTube drama, KHuck? Do you think that that's a fair and, representation of like newsworthy things that go on that subreddit?
Discord stuff. Discord.
No, on r/YouTube drama.
I've never been on Reddit. I don't
Oh,
follow
well,
anything. Yeah.
uh,
So, very rarely do I ever go on there. Maybe for like some topics, but that's really about it. I don't frequent it a lot. But
Okay, because that's where he was at,
Mhm.
and as someone who has done investigations, basically debunking stuff that's been posted on there and trying to post my results on there so people knew the truth, you get banned, you get silenced, you get downvoted into oblivion if you even dare go against anything that someone posts that is like not what the community deems, Basically, whatever gets posted in there is the narrative that everybody has to run within that. Even Nicholas Diorio himself said it. It's a garbage subreddit.
God.
mhm. Well, here's the thing, right? Is that with me and subreddits, though, I don't ever really follow them unless, again, it's for a particular story or if it's for something that may be related to said story. I don't follow Reddit on a regular basis. I know that there's a lot of different things that come up with Reddit, like as far as topics go, and Reddit is just unhinged to begin with. Let's be honest.
It is. It's
So-
really terrible. So if
Yeah.
because he did at first he did try to do like he did try to go on there and do like a heartfelt like, okay guys, I think you guys misunderstand the situation here, and he did like a nice big long thing explaining like all the stuff that was going on, and then he got downvoted into oblivion and everybody started making fun of him. So that's when Nerd City left
Well-
and Dr. Downvote came in, and then at that point he was just having fun with everybody in there.
Well, how are we supposed to make the distinction though when he's
Because
just
the
using
character is
pushing
called-
Dr. Downvote?
Because it was literally the name, you just said it yourself, paging Dr.
Yeah, no, but I'm
Downvote.
saying when he's posted on his Reddit, he's posted things where he's Nerd City, where he's using the name Nerd City, and he's posting serious stuff. And then on other times, we're just supposed to know he's playing a character called Paging Dr. Downvote.
Have you
whatever.
watched his content? Do you
Yeah,
know who
I
Dr.
watched-
Downvote is?
Yes, it's the character where he's like, he has the gritty voice, he has to drink the fucking cola to make his voice sound
Yeah,
like
he's
that, whatever.
unhinged. He's unhinged and crazy, right? So that
Yeah.
character does not just exist
So
within
he-
that channel. That character goes out on the internet and does
Yeah,
things
but that's
too.
the point is, how are we supposed to make the distinction of when it's him and when it's not him, when he's posting like as him on that same Reddit? Like,
You're not. It's supposed to
account?
be trolling. It's trolling.
It's trolling. Okay, so he's allowed to troll, but other people aren't allowed to troll.
If you
him.
get
Got it.
trolled, I know that you. I know you don't do. I don't know. As far as I know, you don't do content, right?
I
But
don't know.
I'm sure KHuck can speak to this. Every once in a while, you'll get someone into your videos that either is just being completely obnoxious or just completely rude. And every once in a while, it's fun to troll them
Mhm.
back a little bit.
Mhm.
So, if he's that's the only thing he's guilty of really here. And by the way,
Okay,
the Sniper Wolf video, it is not. Believe it or not, it is not an hour-long video about her not showering. It's actually a much more deeper dive about the type of material you would all agree, right? You said yourself that your kid used to try to watch Sniper Wolf, right? And you stopped it. So that is really what that video is about. It's about highlighting the fact that her kid, the majority of her audience are children, and he made an hour-long video showing off all the immature, sexualized imagery of poop and farts and butt stuff, all just to show what what kids are watching and what she's promoting to her young audience. That's what that video is actually about. I wish you would have gave it more chance, KHuck, because I know you said you only got like 2 minutes into it. I would suggest going back and checking and watching the whole thing, because it's actually first off, if not for anything else, what's his face is in video too. Why can I not remember his name right now?
A Big Bungie.
Big Bungie.
Okay.
He's in it. And you know, it's great.
Okay.
So
Well,
I thought that, I'm gonna be real with you, that's the worst video I've ever seen in my life, bro.
then you
like-
must watch some really freaking good content, because I mean,
I do.
because here's the thing: is like you guys don't know half of it, like what Sniper Wolf has done to people. Like,
no,
like, are
you're right.
you familiar with what she's done to Aziland and that stuff?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
and do you realize that even though after all the stuff she's done with Jack's film, she's still averaging about almost 500,000 views per video?
Well, listen, here's the thing though, right? Is that it's Sniper Wolf. She's very well known as far as like being a content creator and things of that nature. And yes, her audience is mostly children. The reason why I had Lil Huck stop watching her was because of what happened when the story broke about what she did to Jack's films. That was unacceptable beyond it. That goes against everything to me, right? What she did to Jack's films was absolutely unacceptable. That was my reasoning for having her stop watching her, was because of that. As far as like her whole history and things of that nature, yeah, that's also a part of it too, as I've later found out. But yeah, but I'll watch I'll watch the rest of the video and I can make that determination. I'll get back with you and let you know.
Yeah,
how
I mean,
what think
I would
about it.
not eat, because there is a lot of poop and fart stuff, but it's basically, you know, like the beginning of it is about her like not washing her hair and stuff, right? But you as you know, like I mean, you tend to be more honest with your titles, but a lot of people use clickbaity titles so that people will click, right? And who's not going to click on a video that says Sniper Wolf doesn't shower? And then she responded to it trying to make it seem like he was just being a weirdo, which is not. She just says that because he exposed the whole Aziland stuff.
Wait. It wasn't. He was really mad at Nick DiOrio for titling his video like he did during the Jake Paul stuff because he felt it was clickbait.
It was click. Well, yeah, because Nick had never done anything wrong to him, and I mean, Nerd had never done anything wrong to Nick. He didn't even know who Nick was, and then Nick out of nowhere is coming out of here.
Sniper Wolf done
Plus,
to,
Nick
to,
was spamming on
to Nerd
Twitter.
City.
Nick was spamming on Nerd's Twitter like the same thing again and again. He was literally harassing the ever living shit out of Nerd City, like so, like for unsolicited, just so Nick could try to like make a name for himself and pick a fight with him.
Yeah, but like, how can you criticize Nick for that if you just admitted that Nerd used
Everybody
a little bit of
clickbaits.
clickbait for-
Everybody clickbaits. But
yeah,
like,
but then it's hypocritical of Nerd to be mad at Nick for doing it.
well, because he's basically making something up. He's saying that Nerd City like lies in his thing, and he didn't. Like it's a hook, right? It's a hook to get people to want to watch the rest of the video. The first like couple seconds of they hyper fixate on a couple seconds of a video that is well thought out. Even Nick said it himself. It's a great video, and then he hyper focuses on that one little part, and which is just a hook to get people to keep watching.
But the videos just said that like the title of Nick's video is Nerd City's Jake Paul video is misleading. He isn't like saying, oh,
and it wasn't misleading. If you there's a one sentence in that whole video that is misleading. Yeah. So you're going to say the rest of the stuff that happened in that video was wrong too?
Well, that sentence is the crutch of like 50% of the video.
It's the hook, right? And it's not the crutch of
50%
the video.
Relies
it's so
on
people
the
can
statement.
stick around. look, when
Well-
he made it, like it's a technicality like that he worked out, but like they were hyper fixating on that one little part and ignoring the rest of like the incredibly crazy stuff that he was exposing about Jake Paul.
No, they weren't. They said it's a really good video. This little issue is just misleading. Which, by the way, I disagree. It was a shit video because 50% of the video relied on that little thing that
Well,
was
then I would
misleading.
suggest showing us how it's done, Seth. If you got it all figured out,
Bro,
if you know what a great video,
time,
then do
dude,
it.
if
Why
I
won't
do-
you? It's easy to
Okay,
sit there
fine.
and say it
Let's
until you
check
do
back
it.
in. Let's check back in a year, and I will have made a better video than Nerd City. How about that?
Okay, I will take that bet. What? I will.
Okay.
Okay, write
There's
it
no
down.
way. There's no way. He's one of the best editors on YouTube.
He's a dude. His latest video was so dog shit edited.
What was
Are you
dog shit
for
about
real?
it?
The way that he's
Yeah, because it's
spliced the
Nerdline.
clips-
Nerdline is not the same as like a lot of the other stuff. Nerdline is like his. It's like it's an aspect of his stuff. Like with the Azzyland stuff was a Nerdline episode where he does an interview with Azzy. That's not crazy editing. But did you see?
No, it doesn't have to be crazy.
Well, then I'm missing the point here. What was dog?
I'm just
shit,
saying.
like,
Okay,
about
so
it?
what?
It seems
what
like you
sucked
just have a
about-
hatred towards him. Because you haven't really said
Brother.
anything. You haven't really said. So it seems like so far your biggest issue with him is that he gets a little upset sometimes. Are you saying that you've never been upset, Seth, at all
No,
about
I've never
anything?
been upset ever, actually.
Okay. Well, I would find that hard.
No,
to
that
believe,
is
but-
not my biggest issue with him. As I said, first of all, during the Jake Paul thing, he was hypocritical about what I just said. Okay? And the video wasn't that good because the crux of the whole video was like this one thing that didn't apply to the video itself, which is it's not illegal. Right? He totally deceptively
No, it's illegal
edited Lele
in the way
Pong's
that he
video.
phrased it. In the way that he phrased it, it was illegal, but on television. So that's the way he said it. Like, why you wouldn't be able to advertise this on television, not on YouTube. And that was the issue, right? That they were saying, well, yeah, but this is YouTube. This isn't TV. So he didn't really lie. They were more upset. They were more upset about the fact that like he did not like make it more about YouTube. You know,
No,
and-
they
and-
wanted him to clarify that what he said didn't apply to Jake Paul right now.
So
'cause
we're
he made
hyper-
it seem like it was illegal.
Didn't this happen like 5 years ago?
Yeah, well, we're doing a
Okay.
retrospective. We're going over shit that happened 5 years ago till now.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're kind of just like you're just like because again, like it would have been a lot easier to just be able to go with you through this so that I could explain where you're wrong and why you're wrong. But like now that
Well,
we're at
you
the
know
end,
when-
it's like I'm trying to recall all the stuff that you talked about.
Well, you know what?
But
We
you
got
still
like
haven't
a
really-
little docket. Like we can go through it if you'd like.
You haven't given like a true you haven't really given anything that would make anybody with like sense at least believe that he's like some like crazy psycho.
Well, I don't think he's a crazy psycho. I just think that he has very thin skin and his videos aren't that great.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Okay, yeah.
So does that mean so if somebody thinks that like again, sorry to use you as an example, KHuck. If somebody were to come in and say, I think KHuck streams suck, does that make that like a
Heard
fact?
that. I've heard that so many times.
No, they're not true. You're great. You're a treasure to us all.
I'm just saying I've heard that quite a bit. So it's that
We-
I'm not immune from that. But anyway, continue.
We all do. We all do.
Continue.
And I'm sure that Seth will when she makes her epic better than Nerd City
yeah,
videos.
Yeah, for real. Can we write into the calendar? Can you write that
On this
down for me?
date in 2026.
Yeah, 3/6/26.
yes.
If she has any video, if she has a single video better than anything Nerd City's done, I will I'll delete my channel.
I don't want you
Oh?
to do that.
No, don't do that. No.
That'd be
No.
mean.
Well, that's just how
No.
confident I am. Because I
Okay.
would consider myself to be a pretty decent editor, and I can't even touch the stuff that guy does with
Okay,
Photoshop
well,
and Adobe and all that stuff.
I've got an editor in my bag. so.
Oh, you can't hire someone. You have to do it yourself,
Well,
Seth.
I can't. Wait, I have to do it.
He doesn't hire anybody. He does it all himself. So if that's the game you're
Well,
playing,
maybe
then
That's
if
you
he
not
did
already
hire
lost.
fair.
someone. Maybe if he did hire someone, the video would be better.
I'm sure if I hired an expensive editor, my
Mm-hmm.
shit would be freaking solid too. I mean, come on. You're making it sound like what he
Fair.
does is nothing.
Fine, I'll do
No.
it myself. No help. But wait, can I have help? What if I have help from a guy that's helped Nerd City with one of his edits? Can I do then?
Who helped him with his edits?
Well, I'm not gonna say name. I'm just gonna say that someone who I might know someone who helped Nerd City with an edit. Can I have him help me with my edits then?
Ooh.
Well, how much is he going to help you? He can only
That's a
help
good
you as
question.
much as he helped Nerd City.
Okay.
If that even happened, because I'm pretty sure that I'm fairly certain that the majority of work he does himself. He
Oh,
might
yeah,
get
what
like
if it
some
was all
random
of it?
things done.
Well, what-
You know.
Well, question. What if it was all of it though? E E.g.
I would be shocked, because then I'd feel like I was being completely lied to, and I would be upset. But I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think at this point we're just not gonna agree on it. I would have loved it like if I would
was
have
just
loved to
looking-
gone through the like if you
I
at
was
some
trying to
point
let
wanted
KHuck
go
get, I
through
was
the
trying to
docket,
get her to let me
you could have done
on,
that.
but it's all right. I know she was trying not to. I didn't want to come on and be. I'm not like a mean guy. I'm just kind of so over like this narrative of people just running with like generalized. And by the way, I know Willie's your boy, but this was a terrible video that he did with the Lele Pond stuff. It's Lele Pond's trying to bang her teacher is gross, and it's terrible to try to suggest that to her kids.
But that's not what happened, and also
That's
this
exactly
is
what happened. They're trying to sleep with the hot teacher. What are you talking about? How can you
No,
interpret
they're
it any
trying
other
to
way?
kiss- They're trying
No,
to.
I
first of all,
didn't
they're
get
trying
that
to
out of
kiss
that.
hot
What's the
teacher.
difference?
Okay, between fucking and kissing.
Yeah, okay. You're still trying to suggest
if
to
I have
girls
to
that it's
explain
fun
to
to
you
try to
what-
hook up with your teacher.
No, it's a dream sequence about a lady really liking a teacher that she finds hot, which is like something you would probably find in a bunch of teenage shows.
That's true.
Yeah, but her audience is like all children.
Yeah, but children, teenagers, whatever, like it's the
And
same.
she was like at the time she was like one of the top creators on YouTube, always on the top page. So this is basically them advertising like, you know, teachers hooking up with their students on you know, the main page of YouTube.
But that's not the point of the video. That's the issue.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that it's not actually about them sleeping with the teacher. It has nothing
Okay, they're
to
still
do
trying
with
to
actual sex.
romantically. They're trying to engage physically with the teacher.
They,
I don't know if you know this,
yes,
but like that's kind
okay.
of a big problem, and a little too close to home. Big problem with teachers getting a little too close with their students.
Yes, okay, fair enough.
Yes.
But it's a really normal thing for someone of teenage age to be a little bit attracted to like someone they see as a role model, which might be a teacher, and that's
Yeah, you
why it's a
can, but
plot for a lot.
twerking.
It's
twerking
a plot
for the
for a
teacher,
lot
though?
of kids shows because of that.
Twerking for the teacher, shaking your tatas.
They're dancing, bro. That's how they dance nowadays. Like, I'm sorry, that's what they do.
Well, I mean, again, it's all about like the fact of like who the kids are, like who the people are watching this, right? And the kids are
Well,
watching
the
this.
kids watching the kids shows are also the kids watching Lele Pons.
Yeah, so like he's just simply pointing out like this is terrible. I don't know why Willie felt the need to try to defend.
It's not terrible. It's a normal experience that teenagers go through, and it's normal to make
I've never tried to
shows
kiss
about
my
it.
teacher. Have you?
No, I have
Okay, well,
dreamt
then there you
about being
go.
attracted. I have dreamt about being attracted to someone in an authority position. Yes.
Well,
And that's
okay,
the point. Is the whole thing was a dream sequence. It wasn't
that's
a
not
real
minors. That's not minors.
thing. What do you mean?
Like that's not like someone in school trying to like hook up with their teacher. It's a completely different situation.
It is.
Like yeah,
It's that exact
you want to sleep with your
situation.
hot
Have
boss.
I been?
I can
okay,
understand that.
Have I been attracted to a teacher when I was in high school? for sure. Has a lot of people, for sure.
Have
Not
you ever
all of those
twerked and
people.
shaked your boobies in front of him to
Have
try
I
to get his
ever?
attention?
Have I ever? Well, that's the thing. It's a dream that she has. It's not an actual thing that happens.
Yeah, that's fair, cool anime girls. I would agree.
Yeah,
It's not uncommon
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Yes.
to be
Yeah.
attracted to your teacher, but when you're an influencer for kids, it's not probably the message you want to be sending out. And plus, this was just like this was just one example of many. I just happened to
Okay,
be.
but-
It was on
fine,
screen, so
but,
I
like,
pointed it out.
Half of like kids television, the point is to like understand that other people have experiences just like you do as a teenager, like so you can learn to like understand that you're okay, what you're going through is okay, and have empathy for other people.
I did not pick that up when she was shaking her titties. I'm sorry. I did not get that vibe that she was trying to make me feel okay.
No, but I'm saying little girls who see that, who also felt attracted to their fucking teenager, will say, oh, yeah, okay, at least I'm not, like, fucking weird, you know? Like, other people have the same experience. That's why they make kids shows like that.
I've never seen a kid show where they're trying to hook up with their teacher. College professor, sure.
Hooking up, no, but, like, feeling attracted to them, yes.
Yes, it's happened. I will agree with Seth on this one. It happens in a lot of shows. It still does, even still to this day. It happens with both young boys and with young girls. It's
Well,
a thing.
I
It's
would-
just yeah.
I'd suggest it probably stop, because it's kind of, especially with the fact that there's story after story coming out of teachers actually hooking up with their students and them going to prison, whether that's a female teacher getting too close with a male student, or a male teacher getting with a young, or whatever the opposite of that one was.
But okay, so Nerd never showed this, but the ending of that Lele Pons video is that the guy's like, the teacher is kind of like denying her and instead giving her like an innocent sort of like view on him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like it's the message of like shaking your boobies without a bra on and twerking for him that is like,
Yeah, but the whole that's the moral though. That changes the moral of the story, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't know if we'll reach a common ground here. Is there?
well,
I'm
fair
still
enough,
kind of
fair
just
enough.
I'm still kind of just looking for like any like serious example where he can't get out of it. He's a terrible, whatever, that he's worthy of all this criticism, worthy of losing 100,000 subscribers. Like I'm just looking for anything that would suggest that is
Well, does he not deserve to lose subscribers? Like,
But
if
he's
the
he's
subscribers
lost
don't want to watch it.
he's lost them all on smear campaigns, not because people don't want to see his content anymore.
What
That doesn't
part of it is a
hardly seem
smear-
fair.
What part of it is a smear campaign?
Let's see. I can go through and find, if I type in Nerd City right now. All right, I'm gonna guarantee. Okay, aside from like the one that he just put out, I'm gonna find. This has got to be the most unhinged YouTuber meltdown. 740K, 6 subs ago. That
Okay,
was
yeah, that's
D'Angelo Wallace.
Wallace.
What's
He's
causing
instantly
Nerd City's
disqualified.
shocking downfall? 50K. Nerd City is spineless coward. 8.1. That's Augie.
But
and
are any of
commentary
those
aids.
wrong, bro?
No,
That's
they're
the
all
thing.
repeating the same exact things you did. Nerd City's unhinged meltdown. Pyrocynical fans
Yeah,
broken.
and it
Nicholas
was
Furio.
unhinged, and it was a meltdown publicly, like we just, clarified earlier.
Nerd City's SS Sniper video is bizarre. Like, how is this not going to send the message that he's like, like unhinged without anybody even
Because
getting a
he
chance?
did act unhinged.
He's not though. He was trolling. If he was trolling. So then every single troll ever on the internet, whether you're on X or if you've ever like trolled anybody ever, You are unhinged then, by your definition.
It's not trolling if you get so upset you leave and ban a bunch of people who are paying you money and then end up like just completely leaving the podcast because you can't handle it.
Yeah, because
That's
he
not
realized that
trolling.
he realized that he was putting his subscribers in like a terrible position. Like, why would he want to continue to be on a show where the people who watch him most can't be there? He's still friends with all these guys, by the way. I would highly suggest looking up Pyrocynical's video where he goes over Nerd City leaving. He has nothing but the nicest things to say about him. He says we're still mates.
I don't care if the guy is a nice
Okay, but
guy.
you're selling it like he's, you know, he's like, I'm taking my ball and going home.
No,
That's
no,
what he
no.
did.
He had a mutual understanding with the guys. He's like, this just probably isn't like the best situation for me. So, you know, and everybody's like,
on.
that's totally understand, man.
Let me say something here real quick about that, okay?
Go ahead, your stream.
No, you're fine. Let me just point this out here real quick. You bring up a good, interesting point. The both of you do. Here's a difference, though, that can be. Sure, I'm sure that he's a great guy behind the scenes. He's a wonderful guy behind the scenes. But as a public figure, as a content creator, and him reacting the way that he has with little things like that, that is a bit unhinged, dude. Just a little.
All right,
You know
so,
what I mean?
So the cat stuff, right? The cat meme pictures is due to the fact that those were some of the stuff that was being spammed in the chat. So they turned it into an inside joke. He's not a fan of cats, but he's not like, you know, everybody's treating it like it's some crazy unhinged thing that's going on with him. It's not. It's an inside joke between all of them.
It was his reaction. No,
Exactly.
His
it was his
to it
reaction.
wasn't his.
Yeah. That's my thing though, right? Is that you can be one person in private, which we've heard numerous times, not just from Nerd City, but from other content creators, other celebrities, whatever it may be, right? They're one way in private, but then in public they're another way, right? I'm not saying that that's how it is with him, that's officially how it is with him, but that's what it sounds like. You know what I mean? It was his reaction to all of that happening is what people were memeing on him for and talking about for. But okay, continue. Go ahead.
I mean,
That's
if
all
you
I
want to
wanna
make jokes about him, but I think calling him like titles like he's a spineless coward, he's crashing out. Like he didn't crash out. Like it's not the guy was just in a situation he felt and he had some fun when he left, you know. And yeah, people get mad. The guy's been online for what, like a decade. So of course there's going to be like some, you know, a couple examples. There's a couple examples I can go through going through Tommy C having bad moments. Does that mean that he's terrible?
Absolutely.
You know?
No.
Well, yeah, he's crashed out. Tommy has crashed out.
Okay, so what's the difference between Tommy crashing out in Nerd City? Like, why is there not a retrospective Tommy? No offense, KHuck. I know Nerd City's like, you know, it's slow content right now. So, but he just happens to be like a friend of mine. So I'm kind of like,
I understand. No, and the thing again, that's the thing is that with Nerd City though, he's because of his reactions to things that have came up and people talking about him and things like that. That's what people are memeing on him for, and that's what people are getting at him for is his reactions to things. If I am wrong or if I am mistaken, Seth and EG, tell me. But that's truthfully, EG, that's the only thing that I know about him is his crash outs. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, and then, of course, the arguments about the videos, which I don't want to get into that again. I feel like we've discussed that. But, yeah, I don't think his videos are that good. I think he deceptively edits stuff.
I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but...
Do you want me to give you an example?
Yeah, how does he deceptively edit things?
Okay,
I
so
didn't even know that was like a term that
in
exists.
his-
Does
I
Mr.
just made
Beast
that term up, actually.
Really?
I was gonna say, because
Oh,
does
yeah,
Mr.
he
Beast
does.
deceptively edit? No,
Absolutely.
because he uses what, CGI? It's called graphics.
No,
Have you
what I'm
ever edited
saying-
anything, Seth Roth?
Yes,
have you
I
ever-
have.
Yes, she has.
Okay,
Okay.
but anyway, point. Okay, in his first Sniper Wolf video, okay, he puts up like his I think it's 2 frames. Okay, so on each side is Asylant's videos, and then Sniper Wolf's videos, and then how similar they are, right?
Yeah, everybody
On 3 frames, okay, on the 3 videos that it shows comparing them. One video is a Wish costume video. uploaded 3 days apart. Sniper Wolf would have had to plan that video way far ahead before Azzyland made her video, because wish costumes take like fucking 2 months to arrive from China. So like adding that
True.
up there, like that is a video that Sniper Wolf stole from her. It's deceptive.
But it's examples of the style. It's the style that she steals from her. You know, nobody really honestly cares about the thumbnails. It's the fact that Azzyland was around well before Sniper Wolf was, and Sniper Wolf has literally adopted her whole entire personality, and then like completely like tried to make everybody think that she was copying her.
Okay, but like what about the other 2 videos on that frame, which is like both of them are trend hopping like content. There are other people who's made like stuff just like that before Azzy did it. Does it mean that Azzy was stealing like her content from someone else?
Yeah, Azzy already admitted that she's like gotten influences from other people. But like,
Okay, well then
Sniper
what's
Wolf,
the difference between Sniper
because
Wolf
Sniper
doing
Wolf
it and
literally
Azzyland
took
doing it?
her accent, her Toronto accent. Last time I checked, Sniper Wolf's not from Toronto, so how does she have a Toronto accent all of a sudden?
She just fucking dude. People online steal accents all the time. You think I sound like this normally, dude?
Well, I'm gonna create a channel called Seth Iroth Tomorrow 1, and I'm gonna just start a campaign telling everybody how you stole my name and that you're trying to be me, and then sick everybody after you. That's exactly what happened to Azzy. And there's so much more that didn't even come out. Sniper Wolf tried to fight her in public at a gaming
Well,
event
that
when
was
Azzyland
in
did
his
nothing
video.
to her.
That did come out. It was in his video. And I'm not saying Sniper Wolf isn't a bad person who doesn't deserve the hate. I'm just saying that's really deceptive that you would edit those together like that when
Look how
there's
many
clear examples of doing it.
Look how many pictures though that there are in a server that you're trying to run with your people. Like I can understand. Hi, Squatching. By the way, I'm sorry that I haven't included you. I know that
Hello.
you hang out in
Okay.
Xylee's all the time, so she's good
Yeah.
people.
When I can.
I just didn't want to feel like I was ignoring you. I see you there.
I'm just the squatcher on the wall. I'm just watching things
we're-
as they happen.
Yeah, we're just here. We're just here right now. I'm
Trying to
chiming
stay
in when I
awake.
can.
Fucking
I
exhausted.
am in so much trouble with my fiance for staying on here to debate, but again, it's
someone's sleeping on the couch.
Ooh.
I have a comfy couch though. I'm like Lunette the Clown. I have a big comfy couch. I'll be fine.
Hell yeah.
Well, E.G., here's the thing, though, right? Is that, again, I understand. Let me just say this real quick, and then the both of you can continue for, however long you guys feel you need to. But let me
I mean,
just
it
say
is
this.
5 in the morning.
We'll do our closing
Yeah.
arguments. We'll do our closing arguments, then I'll let her go.
Closing arguments.
She's been a
Go
good
ahead.
sport about it.
Go ahead. Closing arguments.
All right, you can go first, Seth, because I want to hear yours first.
ahead,
Like, yeah, I understand that you have like a personal connection to this guy, and I in no way think that he's probably a bad person. Like, I don't know the guy, I can't make that judgment, but I do think that he's shown both a lack in his videos and a lack of character, like engaging with his community that he made with TBH, and I think that's fair.
Okay. Now I would just like for okay, so imagine for a second, right, that maybe we can all agree, right, that some things on the internet are just simply not true, correct?
Yeah.
And that
Sure.
sometimes rumors can run wild and build. So if Nerd City it was so insufferable, then why is he still friends with all the guys from the TBH podcast? And they when he left, they had nothing but nice things to say about him. If it was that unbearable of a situation, some communities are more trolly than others. Me and KHuck happen to have really awesome communities. I know because sometimes KHuck's people find their way into my stream and they're always super cool. And likewise, my people find their way into KHuck's and they tend to treat her with a lot of respect. At least I hope so.
Nope, I hate the
So-
word. Nope.
No,
did
when
it?
I
I
am
Who
kidding.
did it? Who did it?
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Open the
I didn't
logs.
touch it. I didn't do it.
Hell
Ah!
is
Who's
going
doing?
on?
Open the logs.
What is
I think
going
I know.
on?
I think I know. Somebody
Is
keeps
this
kicking
Nietzsche
Seth.
toxic?
I think so. Hold on. Seth keeps getting
Who's
kicked.
causing chaos?
Hold on. I'll tell you in a minute. 1 second.
I know who it is.
Do you see who it is?
No, but I can.
Okay.
Who isn't?
I have
Who isn't?
a feeling I know. Is it toxic? Is toxic being a troll?
I do.
It's
It's Nietzsche. It's Nietzsche.
Can he see to do that?
It's
I got
Or is it like
bombed by
voice
calls
command?
earlier.
It's
And
Nietzsche.
can he voice command his
No, it's
toxic's
Nietzsche.
better half? I knew
Toxic
it.
has his girlfriend do it for him.
Nietzsche, god damn it! I knew it was Nietzsche. I knew it the minute that I saw her go in and out. I'm like, god damn it, Nietzsche! I knew it was Nietzsche. Anyway, continue. Continue.
All right, so I just want you to imagine, for instance, that not everything you've heard is true, and that a lot of people will wait for these things to happen so that they can create content. I don't think nobody will disagree to this. The commentary community eats their own, right? They tend to look at okay, well, first off, Bill Black's pretty much deserved it, but they, when they're slow news. When it's slow news week, right? These things can tend to get out of control. So when enough people talk about something, people believe that it's true. So and it's your right to think that you don't like his videos. That's fine. I happen to think that they're awesome. I think that he does great work. He invests a lot of time. That's why it takes so long between them, because he makes sure that his research is like on point, right?
I think it's because he's lazy, but go on.
Well, you're wrong. You would be wrong. He's like, but it's just at least keep your mind. All I'm asking is like, keep your mind open that you could be getting like trolled yourself with wrong information, because this all started on like r/YouTube drama, where people started posting this stuff, and those same people were the ones that got kicked out of that Discord, so they were mad. So that's where the whole cat stuff started from. I mean, I will have proof of all this at some point in the next like 2 weeks.
You know what? I'll keep my eyes open. I'll subscribe to you, and I'll make sure to look at it. Because like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just don't think I'm wrong. But if I am, I am.
I just think that he's being railroaded by a bunch of people that have all been in the commentary community for way too long, and all eventually just had falling outs with one another. I mean, think about it. How many people are friends? How many every week it's a new a new group of people hating each other, right? Basically, that's how this works.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But just based on like undeniable facts of what he posts on Reddit and Discord and on Twitter, and then his videos, I can safely say I think this guy is a little bit lackluster in the IQ department.
He's
And
actually
I think
incredibly
he's-
brilliant. If you ever sit down and talk to him, he's very good, very
Well,
articulate.
maybe I'm wrong. But to me, he comes off like lukewarm temp IQ, and also his videos aren't that great. That's just my opinion. I don't think we're gonna agree. So
I think the J Station video was freaking amazing. Got Colossal in it.
I'll
dude. Break
agree
down
on that,
every-
but that's because Oliver is reining it in.
You just won't give him anything. You won't give him anything.
I won't give him anything. Yeah,
But
you
at
know
least
what?
I wasn't coming to win you over. I was basically just coming so that I could just tell KHuck's chat, that believe
that's
half
fair
of what
enough.
you hear on the internet, and believe half of what you see, and like
yeah.
a quarter of what you hear. on the
None of
internet.
what you hear.
Right,
none
You're a
of
good
us
right.
do.
sport, man. I appreciate you not being mean to me.
No, I'm not a mean guy. I wouldn't,
No,
and I
he's
would
not
never do
mean.
that to KHuck.
No, he wouldn't do that to you. No, I
You
wouldn't.
gotta
Well, first
remember,
and foremost,
I'm just a foreign little guy.
Well, first and
English isn't
foremost,
even
I
my
wouldn't
first
allow
language,
it. I wouldn't allow anyone or EG to be mean in general.
I would
Let's
throw
just-
chairs.
let's
Yeah,
ju-
and KHuck
I-
would not
exactly.
KHuck would not have let me come on her stream if she thought I was going to come on and be like, "Oh, you dumb, stupid bitch."
Yeah, no,
That's
no,
not how I
no.
am.
No, and I knew that wasn't going to be the case, which is why listen, if it were just you or if it were anybody else that were asking to come on and give their take on this, and yeah, I would totally be open for that. That'd be fine. But you seem to obviously be somewhat knowledgeable on this subject as well too. And again, like I said before, with me and Squatchin kind of still being somewhat new-ish to Nerd City in and of itself, like the whole lore with him, it's interesting to hear both sides of it. You know what I mean? It's interesting to hear what you have to say about it. It's interesting to hear what Seth has to say about it, or what others have to say about it too, because we can take what the both of you have to say or what others have to say about it and form our own opinion on it. Yeah.
KHuck,
can
Nietzsche
take that
server
info
muting
and-
me.
Nietzsche!
Bruh.
Nietzsche!
I'm not server. Oh, I
No,
thought you said
Nietzsche
Nietzsche.
is.
It's like I don't even know how to
Nietzsche.
server mute someone.
Nietzsche's being a little shit. Anyway.
But anyway, like I just wanted you to come on and keep open minds that that a lot of this is blown way out of proportion. All right.
I appreciate the conversation, and if like I'm sorry we didn't get to go through the docket together. I think that would
I know it would have been nice.
much more productive.
I had to do.
I
We
agree.
had some other stuff going on too, but as soon as I saw KHuck was like Earth City retrospective, and then I heard all the same talking points. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go over there. But yeah, again, thanks for allowing me to come on and debate. It's again, it's just as somebody who's been victim of like smear campaigns and stuff, it's not fun, and I feel bad for people who have to go through it. Who've and that's not to say anybody's perfect. Nerd City's not perfect. He won't say it. He would never admit that himself either. But I'm just simply trying to just be like, if I was just making sure you weren't like getting your information from either Nick who hates Nerd, or from D'Angelo Wiles who also hates Nerd. So a lot of people just have vendettas against
Well,
them, and that's where a lot of
I would not get my information from either of them. But go on.
No, that's pretty much all I have to say. And KHuck, you have to show me how you do those little picture icons. I want to do that too.
Yeah, I can send you the link for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I think I did when we did our interview, but I can send it again if you want.
I just threw your I think I just threw your disc. Oh, by the way, again, I apologize the last time I was on your I did my interview with you. I was talking through my webcam mic, so my audio sounded totally bad. And
No,
as you can tell,
fine,
it's much
stop.
better. It's much better now. But
Stop.
It
You
happens.
are fine. It happens. It's all right. I didn't even notice until after the fact. Someone had told, I think it was either Blue Jay or probably was Blue Jay actually, because Blue Jay likes to rat you out quite a bit. I would
that's what I was like. I was expecting. I was like, where were you guys? You guys are always so quick to tell me when I'm messing up, and
I think it was
they
Blue
just
Jay.
gave up.
That told me about it later, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice," because otherwise I would have said something too.
I was like, yeah, let me
But
just buy this
it's all good.
expensive ass mic so I can use my cheap webcam to talk through. It's like it's stupid.
No, you are.
See, we all make
stop.
mistakes.
You are fine.
We all make
It's-
mistakes.
No, it's okay. It's fine. But no, thank you, EG, for coming on and for talking it out. All I'm gonna say is that I think that this was a good conversation. I think that this was. There wasn't any blood sports or anything like that. I think that this was a very good conversation about the subject in and of itself. So, kudos to both of you.
Just if
Thank
Moreau
you.
ever asks to come on and debate, don't
Oh
let him.
God.
He will come on and be like,
I don't think that he'll come on here. I don't really think that
you never
he'll
know
come
with
on
that guy. You just can never
Mm-mm.
know.
I mean, he did call me normal, so I guess I'll give him that. So I mean,
That's because I
don't
started
know
talking
why.
about him on stream. He was stoked we were talking about him on stream, so he was being nice.
yeah,
He's
called
not.
me
He's on his.
normal.
He's nice when he comes on my stream, but when he goes like I don't know, when he gets he's screaming at Tipster, he screams at him, and he screams at a lot of people.
I mean,
So,
the only thing that I'll say about Morale briefly before you head out is that yes, he's been very, very nice to me, and that's really all I can say. So yeah.
For now. For now, don't
right?
go
Yeah,
into a
exactly.
stream. Don't go. If you go into a stream, it's like walking into the lion's nest. One of my subscribers had to find that out the hard way.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, thank you, EG, for coming on here and for having this conversation. We appreciate you, good sir. Are you streaming right now, still?
Yeah, I'm about to
Perfect.
hop over and end it. So we
Okay.
cross-pollinated tonight. Cross-pollinated,
We
creating
did.
the content for the folks.
We did, yes. All right, sir. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. W conversation. You guys are that was actually really productive, I think, in my opinion. So thank you again. We'll talk to you later, sir. Thank you.
All right, just remember, Nerd City's based.
Unbased.
Bruh.
Based on
Get him
what?
out of here.
Based on
what?
what?
Based on deception. That's what I say.
Exactly.
My favorite
based on
part of
what?
the stream was the cat gift.